Hi, here we are, learning Yecheskel, Bayit Shlishi. Okay, when you think about it, I don't know when you'll be hearing this, but right now we're just approaching Rosh Chodesh Tammuz in Yerushalayim. And Av will be here soon. And perhaps we'll actually be seeing Bayit Shlishi. So today what we're going to be talking about is the Korbanos. So as we learned at least twice that I recall, there's Machloket Ramban about what the Iker of the Beis HaMikdash is, the main thing. Is it the Holy of Holies or is it the sacrifices? Is it what we understand or is it how we elevate Gashmias? So today what we're going to be learning is everything concerning the Korbanos, the Mizbeach, the sacrifices, the altar, and then we're going to review by moving outwards from there. So let's begin by talking about what the Korbanos are and what the Ketoret is, what the animal sacrifices are, what the incense is. So we left off last time, we were learning Perek Membet, as you recall, in the inner courtyard. And you remember the inner courtyard was square, there were 4 lishkot, and there was a central place. And inside that central place, was the Heichal. Okay, so outside, not in the inner place, but in the outside place, was the altar which was called the Mizbeach HaChitzon, the outer altar. It's also called the Mizbeach HaOleh. Okay, so this is where the sacrifices were offered every day. So, the sacrifice has to do with giving a gift to the king, seeing Hashem as the leader and manhig of everything in creation, saying, and I'm addressing myself to you. Now this happens in 2 ways. One way has to do with the outer world. This has to do with the animal sacrifices. When we go inside the Heichal and we get to the incense, this has to do with our, so to speak, offering our neshamas to Hashem, our very souls. So the animal sacrifices have to do with the world of the angels, the flow of how the angels take down what Hashem wants and addresses it to the outer world, the angel of healing, the angel of strength, all of the different forces. So the sacrifices have to do with elevating the world of the angels as they affect outer reality. The inner altar has to do with uplifting and sacrificing the soul of Israel to Hashem, our Creator. So everything was done every day. So the idea is that the whole creation needs a relationship to be renewed every day. Every day is different. So every day you should be asking yourself, because I know some of you may be saying, what does this have to do with me? Every day your question is, how could I take my life, my inner life and my outer life, and draw it closer? And this is what the sacrifices are about. So let's begin by talking about the outer altar, as we said we would, and the korbanos. So the korbanos could be from animals or from birds, not from wild animals. So these 3 species, each one has a place in creation. So, as we said, the animals parallel the angels, meaning the angelic forces are called, as you know, or some of them are called Chayot HaKodesh. We spoke about this last time. Meaning that the vital forces that we see in nature, that we see in the animal world as well, that are paralleled by spiritual forces through which Hashem's vitality descends to the world. Okay, so the animals, the domesticated animals, are, so to speak, in the world of Bria, while the birds are in the world of Yetzirah. What does that mean? It means that the forces that could be easily channeled, they're close to Hashem. But the birds, think about being a bird, going above everything. That means having a relationship and transcending it to that which is lower. So the birds are on a lower plane. And lowest of all would be the wild animals, those that submit to no one, which are never used as korbans, because their tumah, their inherent impurity, is so great that they were created to be a challenge to the other forces and to man. But certainly they can't be elevated because of the nature of their distance. Okay, now let's move to another issue, which is how did it go? What's the actual order? So there are 3 groups of people who were active in every korban. The 3 groups of people were Kohen, Levi, and Yisrael. And each one of them had a specific role. But first let's talk about why there are three roles. When you're talking about uplifting the world and addressing the angels back to Hashem, you're talking about three different forces. Chesed, Din, and Rachamim. What do we mean by this? Chesed means outpouring of goodness. This is the source of inspiration and beauty. Okay, Din means limitation. This is the source of our awakening, and I'm saying, I want it different, I want it better. So, if we use the allegory of the world being compared to a fruit, Chesed is the sweetness of the inner fruit itself. Well, Din is the enthusiasm you feel as you peel away the outside, the shells, and say, I'm going to get somewhere.